Welcome back to Incredible Conversations with your host, Isabelle Wellman. I am back. We're doing it. We're here. We're recording. It's only taken me a couple weeks to make this happen because this episode is a reflection of what I learned in my 25th year on Earth. It's all about what I took away, what challenges I was presented, and really the silver lining in all of those challenges, and how to move forward, how to continue to grow, and where I am seeking and manifesting and actively working towards prosperity. For my 26th year, I'm sure you knew about it because as a double Leo, I just blab about my birthday, but on the 14th, I had just gotten back from Colorado with my partner and our two border collies, and it was truly a day of celebration of being in our new home of Nevada, going to Lake Tahoe, spending the day on the water, being able to cruise around on a boat for a couple hours, hanging out with some friends on the East Shore, jumping off some rocks, even though I am a complete coward when it comes to jumping off, even if it's the smallest rock. And that is something I am not afraid to admit. But it was a really profound day. And coming back to reality, which is so funny because at one point or one thought, one theory I hold is every day is a vacation when we love what we're doing, when we are in our groove, when we're in our flow, when we are feeling accomplished and succeeding and in alignment with what it is that we have going on. Verse thinking, oh, I gotta look to the weekend. Man, that weekend is gonna be great. It's a couple days off. The rest of the week sucks, but the weekend, man, that is where it's at. And that is what I wish to destroy in my lifetime. I don't like seeking or looking towards the weekend as that time of freedom, so to say, quotation marks there, because we are always free. We are always free to choose how we spend our day, no matter what our days look like, no matter what we have chosen in this lifetime. It is quite literally our choosing. And so we cannot be frustrated about what we've chosen. And if we are, why? Why are we frustrated? Why aren't we excited? What are we repressing? So I'm not going to get too much further into that, but it makes me irritated that I felt like going to Colorado for my birthday week was this huge opening of a door, just stagnant energy flying out the window and a whole breeze of freshness coming in and sprucing up the place, giving me new ideas, new energy, a new perspective, and a different approach to how I typically do things. As you know, if you've been listening to the podcast for a while, I'm a fiery person. I got 5 planets in my astrology chart that are in fire. Most of those are in Earth houses. So it's really this dynamic of how do I practically take action? How do I bring fun and play into the physical world? How am I moving my body? How am I interacting with others? How am I making things different on a tangible level wherever I go? How can I be infectious with courage, with bravery, with love, with compassion, with whatever that is that I am pursuing that day? And it's been a journey of learning how to, instead of being so proactive and headstrong and rushing, to go slow, to have structure, to be planning ahead. My goodness, that's a tough one. That one has been a challenge. It is a challenge that I've been working on diligently. And so that is why I took a little bit of a step back the last 2 weeks. And the universe was on my side. And how do I see this? So, you know that I'm a pretty connected person with our universe, with what's going on. I listen to the signs, the symptoms, all the things. And I had a couple podcast cancellations like, hey, we are taking a step back from our podcast, or hey, I need to reschedule for in the future, or hey, like that person wasn't on top of their game. And so, no hate, no anything towards that. It's just like, yeah, I needed that space. I needed to slow the F down before moving forward. And it's given me the time to try new strategies in how I open up my membership, how I connect with my community, how I take action, how I plan that action. And I don't just dive in, but I build it, make sure it's solid, and then issue it to the world, present it, invite people into it. And that has been a huge shift in how I play this game. So today, without further ado, let's dive into the 25 things I learned in the first quarter of my life. I have my little journal. If you're watching the YouTube of this, you're going to see me raising it, lowering it. First and all, if you are watching the YouTube, this is the most beautiful journal I've ever had. I was gifted it on my level 3 weekend, my certification weekend for Deborah Silverman Astrology. She's my favorite mentor for astrology, and this was one of the gifts that we got in our little welcome weekend packages. And this is a journal from magicofI.com. So magic of and the letter I.com. Highly recommend. Really beautiful journal. It's got all the planets, little elemental features on it. But anyways, I have no affiliation with them. I just really love the aesthetics of this journal. So, the first thing that I really wanted to bang in is belief in my own dreams and desires. Woo-hoo-hoo. That one might sound really casual. It might sound like, duh, Isabel, you gotta believe in yourself for anything to happen. However, I don't think a lot of people, maybe this is a projection of mine because it takes me so long to believe in myself about what I can achieve and the extent or the expansion of what I can achieve. I'm really great at starting things, but how big can I create it? How can I stay consistent with it for it to gain traction? And that is really that belief, that faith of staying so headstrong and so in groove with where you're going, being in that alignment that I always talk heavily about: body alignment, mind alignment, emotional alignment, soul alignment. I think the mind and the emotional go hand in hand because they're both one and the same in a way. However, here's an example of this. So this year, I got honest with myself about, hey, Isabel, you have always wanted to be an actress. You've always wanted to be a little model. You've always wanted to be on the face of big brands, big outdoor brands, especially. And in that evolution of me admitting that, I decided to sign up on some modeling websites, create a profile. One of them is Outsiders Network, another one is Weeble Mountain. And I had a girlfriend hook me up with a couple different sites of her own that she has been dabbling into. Shout out, Shelby, you are a badass. And really take action on it. And so, this past May, after I'd done that, after I was applying to acting jobs and modeling jobs and really allowing myself to step into the embodiment of what that meant and what that looked like. So it was a lot of visualization meditation for me that helped me anchor this in at a deeper level, where I was really tapping into the emotional state of what it would feel like and feels like to be that model, to be a face for a big brand. How do I hold myself? How do other people interact with me? How do they look at me? How do people watch me? How do I interact? And that pure energy that I am sharing. And one day I was shopping for my Taurus King for his birthday, and I have to say, what more Taurian of a gift than organic cotton sheets? for our bed. That's what I was purchasing for him as one of his gifts. I think that's hilarious. But that was a monumental moment. I'd never purchased such nice sheets before. And I'm standing in the TJ Maxx line and I get an email. And I read the email, I'm waiting in line, holding my phone up in front of my face like grandma. If you're watching the YouTube, you can imagine like my phone is at eye level. I'm not bending my neck, breaking my neck. That thing that irritates me so much. Seeing people just triple chinning it down, breaking their neck, looking at their phone, horrible posture. I can't handle it. My Mercury and Virgo doesn't allow me to do it. I don't judge, but I try not to judge. I absolutely judge, but I tell myself, hey, not your life, not your problem. And so it's this whole process I'm going through. that's that's a little vulnerability I'm sharing with y'all. I'm working on that in myself. And lo and behold, I get an email from a director's assistant, basically saying, hey, we are what's it called? Shortlisting you for this role for this big outdoor brand. And I was like, oh, okay, great. Yeah, I'm into that. I can travel these states, I can be there. I agree to whatever, whatever. And within a week, I was selected at of for 20 people, 20 positions that they needed filled. I was selected out of 600 people to partake in this photo shoot. It was the most highly infused with energy experience I have undergone, where I was in my zone. I was connecting with like minded people. I got to hear new stories, hear about what people were doing in this industry. I got to see the in and outs of what it looked like, all the moving pieces. I was astounded, completely blown off my chair at how effortless it felt and how amazing the people in this industry were. And apparently, this being my first real photo shoot, everyone was shocked. Everyone was like, wow, you got in on a really good first photo shoot. Like, not many of them are like this bougie or this fun or this cohesive because everybody just got along so well. And that was a pivotal moment in my life that when you truly visualize and you don't just say, I want to be a model, it's going to happen. Like, okay, ego, go sit down in your chair, please. Like, that's not changing your physiology on a mental, emotional level, which I have a podcast about. And if you want to hear about how you can become successful by changing your physiology, highly recommend listening to that episode. And it's so accurate. I mean, I lived it. And so I had this August bravery challenge happen for the month of August. And you can still sign up. There's 3 more days for you to sign up for this challenge, for you to get 31 free days of emails from me. They arrive at 10 a.m. PST, so whatever time that is for you in your time zone. And you just get a challenge a day to amp up your courage and your bravery and be like, yeah, I'm going to own this life. I'm going to take it on. I'm going to push myself and challenge myself. I'm going to take a sip of my coffee real quick. So that is there for you. So that was that was really a huge thing. When you really have that faith, when you really believe, you will be gifted an opportunity that you could not imagine. Yes, you're going to visualize certain things. You're going to tap into that feeling more so than anything because that is what makes the energy happen. You connect with a frequency that is different than your usual frequency, and that will align and attract other opportunities of the same frequency in the world. And when you're not a believer of this, it's going to be fucking hard. Not gonna lie. So transparent. If you do not get into the emotional belief, if you do not have faith that this thing will happen for you, that it will come to fruition, baby, it's not gonna happen. And that's the matter of fact. That's the difference between people who are really grasping and practicing and getting into the mindset of this spiritual law, the universal laws, versus people who say hooey fooey, this is woo woo, which I can't stand either. And they just chalk it up and push in the back. All right, that's your lifestyle. That's your lifestyle. I'm not going to change you. I'm not going to force you to do something you don't want to do or believe in. Mm-mm. But I'm not going to be brought down by your lifestyle, needless to say. I'm going to do me, you do you. I'm going to respect you. If I push you, like, don't get irritated. That's just my trajectory in this lifetime. And it's beautiful because there's no judgment or hate. All right, going on to number two. This is going to be a long podcast if this is how I keep rolling. So I'll try to make these a little bit more concise. But that one really hit home for me. So, number two, think less, do more. As simple as it sounds. I thought about this in bed last night, actually, before, you know, relaxing, shutting our eyes, getting cozy, cuddling up. And I have this little meditation playing. I like to fall asleep to either Hertz frequencies or a hypnosis or a meditation or some rain sounds, whatever the case. Anywho, I had a certain meditation on and it was a little too loud, and an idea popped in my mind. And I'm sure this has been spoken of before somewhere, but I thought of this, that we have the feeling brain and the thinking brain. I want to make sure that's right. So let me just check my notes really fast. Yeah, we have the thinking brain and the feeling brain. So let me explain this so concisely. When we think, we can get lost in a sea of expansion in whatever we are thinking of. If I say hippopotamus, you're going to think about a hippopotamus. How you think about that is going to be entirely different. And whether you hold that thought for just that thought and then go back to whatever you were thinking about before, or if you keep going on with this thought, like if I kept saying this hippopotamus is at a party, it's got the strongest jaw of any animal in nature. You might start thinking of different instances with a hippopotamus. This is a silly example, but that is how it rolls, my friends. And so the longer that you hold on to a thought, the longer that it makes an impact on your day. So imagine if you are unhappy in your body, you are probably going to have, out of your 90,000 thoughts that you have in a day, by the way, a majority of them might be very counterproductive to what you wish to become, and they keep you who you are. And so this thinking brain can be highly destructive if not dealt with carefully, if not nurtured, if not nourished with positive discussions or different actions, different perspectives, different supportive people or talks or groups, whatever it is that you want to input there. If it is not going to nourish you, then it's going to be malnourished and it's going to be intrusive, it's going to be controlling, it's going to be anxiety ridden, it's going to be really harmful to your nervous system, to who you are as a human. You might be bitter, you might be life is meh, and when I wake up, why the heck do I have to go to work, and thank God it's 5 p.m. I get to leave and go home and lose myself in substances because that's the only way I get to escape. Because if I even confront my emotional side, God forbid knows, I'm going to blow up into a million pieces. And so that's the thinking brain. That is how I perceive it. So when you think, you are more likely to go down this rabbit hole of self destruction unless you're practicing on not doing that. And you take time in your day to sit in meditation or to sit in stillness, whatever you prefer to look at it as, and you practice positive thoughts and envisioning who you are becoming and not who you are. I have a fantastic YouTube TED Talk to recommend. I'll put it in the show notes. It's by Benjamin Hardy, Benjamin Hardy. And he talks about making decisions 100% or not at all. Because when we can make a decision to do something, then it takes less brain energy, takes less energy from us in general, and we just do it. And so that's where I'm going now. It's where we are into the feeling brain. So when we are feeling, we are present in the moment because when we are truly in alignment with our feelings, we are in flow with what we need, not what we should do, not what we could do, or not what we have to do. We are in flow with what would serve us the most in this moment. Yes, maybe it is focusing and dialing in the emails that we need to dial in. However, it doesn't have to be that way. Maybe you have an off day and you just want to see what you feel like doing for that day without expectations of what that has to be. Because when we are in this feeling brain, we do not get distracted by self doubt, by a lack of faith, by intrusive thoughts that keep us from trying or taking action in the first place. And that's where this comes in. Like, think less, do more. Just go out and try and experiment and have fun and stop seeing failure as this thing of like, oh my gosh, you can never be good at this. No. Yo, you're literally practicing every single day. It's like people in the gym. They think every day has to be excuse me, the most intense workout of their life, day after day after day after day after day. And no, that's going to ruin your body. Your body wasn't meant to just be this Spartan warrior day in and day out. Where's your recovery days? Are you training balance? Are you training flexibility? Are you training isometrics? Are you lifting weights with intentional decrease and increase in seconds and speed and volume? Like, what are you doing? Because if you're just going to burn yourself out, you're going to end up hating it. And so when you train yourself, that's what we're always doing. We're just practicing every day. So if we're practicing at our fullest every day, that's not a bad thing, but you're going to burn out. So why would you do that? It really makes me laugh. So that's where I take this. It's like, think less, do more. Think less about the shoulds, woulds, coulds. Do more about what feels in alignment with you. And I think that having a stillness practice is really going to benefit anyone who wants to take on that experiment. My next thing that I learned this year for number 3 is create versus consume. This has been something I've seen on social media a couple times, and it pops up at just the right moment for me. And often enough, I will be in my thinking brain versus my feeling brain, and I will be in more of an anxious fight or flight state because I don't believe I'm doing enough. Which, if you know me, I do a lot, do more than the average person because I have the energy. So I feel like I'm required to operate this way, but I need that rest. I need those recovery days. I need to train that balance day, so to say. And so when we can create our world versus consume it, we're going to get farther. We're going to get closer to our dreams. We're going to get so much closer to what it is that we want to be in this lifetime. So social media, wowee, this is like the leading cause of depression these days. Yet everybody has a phone and everyone's on the IG or the TikTok or the Twitter, whatever it is. Are these things inherently bad? No. Are they inherently good? No. There is a balance that needs to be had, and time limits, and the intention behind using these platforms, because they are created to bring us to them more and more and more. I'm sure that if you just wanted to go on Instagram, you would not even have to think about where the app is on your phone. You have trained yourself to know exactly how to swipe and where to poke your screen to bring the app open or for whatever social media you love. And just think about that. How could you deter yourself from being online so that you can create things for other people in the world? So that you can make a mark on this world and not just consume it like little cookies all over the place and go into this deep, dark rabbit hole of doom and gloom and sadness and depression and anxiety. Like you are not being seen or you're not heard or no one cares about your emotions or you could never be like that content creator or that influencer or that scientist or that yoga teacher, whatever it is. So just think about what you create in this world versus what you consume and how you use that. That was a big one for me. I have been playing this game on social media since 2020 with the intention of it being business based. And I still battle this. I battle sitting down and getting work done and leaving my phone across the room with my music on, phone on do not disturb so I don't get notifications because those are little zaps to the brain of check me, open me, get lost in me, scroll, 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 scroll. And it can be devastating. So just that was a huge lesson for me. Next, I tapped on this a tiny bit, but 4, experiment and have fun. I can be so hard on myself. Maybe it doesn't look like that from the social media view. We don't see behind the scenes of a lot of it, of a lot of these people creating, influencing, being leaders or thought leaders, whatever it is. But we're not seeing the behind the scenes shit show. I mean, for example, when my partner and I had 7 puppies in our camper, yeah, it was really adorable to see all of the puppy footage online and to talk about them when we were showing them to people or like, hey, yeah, these are puppies. But the behind the scenes footage was our sanity was going through the roof and out of our bodies. We were living in dog shit. After week 4, Mama Z stopped eating their poop. And so their poops just got bigger as the weeks went on. And a lot of the times there were 4 to 5 to 6 poops and 7 billion peas in this little place. And we are in a maybe 100 square foot, if that. I don't even know what this camper square footage was, but a cab over camper, a Lance. Yeah, it was not ideal. And I'm not complaining about it, but that's just the difference. So we experimented with that happening in our lives. And will we ever do that again? Never. Never. Would Zena have puppies again? Yeah, maybe. I loved the process of raising them, of helping Zena give birth, of of meeting people who wanted to adopt them, all the things. And on the other hand, I know that there are a lot of dogs in the world and we don't need any more puppies. So that's the other that's the other end of the stick. There's always two. There's a good and a bad. So that's an example of experiment and have fun. So try things and let yourself try them. It's like if you only go to the gym every day of the week and all you do is go to the gym and you don't hike or you don't play, you don't try kickboxing, you don't try swimming, you don't try racing, whatever the case. Like, what are you doing? Aren't you going to get bored? Like, expand your skill set. And don't be defeated by being a newbie. That's the most fun thing to be is a newbie because you get to learn and you get to refine and you get to pick up new skills. And then you become a better person because you're so adaptable to so many different situations. And so that is what I found out. Experiment and have fun. 5, daily rituals, baby. This is what I'm talking about. So this was really honed in. I mean, this has been my life for a while is daily rituals, but I really got really focused on this in January when I signed up to work with my first coach in this membership called Magical Women and Money. Shout out NB, the queen. And she really hones in like at least like 15 minutes for body, for mind, for soul. And I was already doing this because of the conscious alignment method being body, mind, soul orientated. So I really found alignment with this program because it's just making time for yourself. If you have more time, awesome. If you don't have as much time, all right, like 5 minutes, 10 minutes. It will set you up in a way that you could not imagine. Because if you're just getting up, caring for the kids, putting yourself last, you're going to be bummed and you're going to be drained of your life force energy. No offense, kiddos, but if, and parents out there, this is something I heard that really impacted me for like one day when I am a parent. If you are not setting an example for your child of what it looks like to be about you, how are they ever going to learn to be about themselves? Like you are demonstrating that. So if you are saying, oh, I can't go to swimming because the kids are this, bring them with you and let them watch you. You go to swim classes and you drop them off and you watch them swim. Why can they not do the same for you? I don't quite understand that. So it's a two-way tango here. And I thought that was just really a cool way to see it. Like you are inspiring them. You get to be the inspirator, not just the other way around. Yeah, your kids are going to be dope because you're dope human. Needless to say. So, daily rituals. What I'm doing right now. So, my daily rituals for Virgo season is wake up, brain dump. It took me a couple weeks to get in the groove, but since Virgo season has made its stamp, I am journaling, brain dumping. So I play a song without words and I journal, brain dump for that song duration. And then I go outside and I do my yoga. I move my body because I need to. I'm a psychopath. Like my dogs, if I do not move my body, the other day, I had to be out of the house. I did not properly get them out. I came home. There's trash everywhere. They are not meant to be stagnant. And just like me, I would have lost my mind and destroyed something. So I did not blame them because it was my fault as a human being not taking care of my dog's energies and what they need in their life. So movement, movement, movement. And then I write my list. I put it in my phone. I am doing this for the whole week. So I'm planning my week ahead of time. So I know what I'm looking for and what I'm doing in my days. I actually just rewrote, excuse me, what this is going to look like. But for my days, let me pull up my calendar so I can actually give you the real deal schedule for the week. So on Mondays, oh, I forgot to put it in for that one. Mondays are my, oh, I forgot to put it in. They're my training days. Yeah, they're my personal training client programming days. And so I go to my computer and I program all of my clients for the week, all the way until the next Monday, so that when I wake up on Monday, I'm not worried that they don't have a workout, but then I create it for the rest of the week, so forth and so on. And I like to do it in that way. Sometimes I'll do it ahead of time, but you're different week to week. So there's that note. And then on my Tuesdays, it's a creation day. So creating content, going to a coffee shop, getting out of my little bubble at home, and writing, maybe adding to the blog, whatever that looks like for me on that day. On Wednesdays, I have my record podcast days, go live on IG, talk about training in astrology and healing. I have my meditation group that I teach on Wednesdays. I'm starting that back up this week. And it's really a day to be seen in the world and get out my thoughts. On Thursdays, it's pitch day. So, pitching stories, interviews, articles, connecting with other people, talking to high level people, getting into their inboxes, whatever that looks like. Will it always work? No. That's why you just keep doing it and doing it and doing it. And that's something else that we will talk about. And then Fridays are my track finances for the week, my learning days where I have an astrology class, and where I'm taking a new NASM course. So, learning how to group train officially, and then learning more about Reiki, about energy healing, all of the things. And so, that's how it is. I have my weeks planned out ahead of time because that's a ritual that I love to have. Going on to number 6. This kind of goes in with something I hit on in the last in number 5, but number 6, be seen, be heard. Be seen, be heard. For me, a issue that I have been working on is not dimming my light, not feeling like I cannot take up enough space. A story that I told myself for a long time growing up was, I was really good at a lot of things I did athletically, creatively, and I felt bad if I was better than someone. And this is a projection, maybe, of me being afraid to be seen and shine and be confident because I didn't really have that demonstrated to me growing up. And so it's this wishy-washy game of, all right, it's your time, like be seen, be heard. When I was in that energy, I got the modeling gig. When I'm in that energy, I get to connect with people that are going the places that I want to go. And so do not be afraid to get yourself out there. And so with those pitch days, this is a new schedule I created for myself. That's my intention. It's to be seen, be heard, have people hear my story, talk to me, get to know me, get my name out there because in my little bitty box, no one is ever gonna know my name. And that's not something I want. And not everyone is like this, but be seen and be heard by your family, by your friends, by your coworkers, whatever that looks like, by your boss. Number 7 is trade mentality will kill you. So this was something I learned and heard from a girlfriend I met this year online. And trade mentality is when you do something for someone else and you expect it in return, or you receive something and you feel like you have to give the same thing back. So I received $10 for my birthday for a latte. I would feel obligated to send $10 back. That does not show the universe that you are open to receiving. And so this is more of a masculine feminine polarity talk and concept that if you are so hyper driven and focused on your masculine, how are you ever going to receive and just be thankful and grateful for what is coming your way? Like the world does not operate on trade mentality. It does not go tick for tack, to be honest. Does it mean that you should be a bad person and you'll get good things? No. Does it mean that if you do a nice thing for someone, you should expect something in return? No. Like just do things out of the good of your heart. Show up how you want, how you would expect someone to show up for you, to show up that way because it's going to make you feel good. And then don't expect anything in return and just be grateful, thankful, feel the satisfaction of the action you took. If you volunteer, whatever that is, and just witness that the world will give you back in 3 times, 5 times fold of what you gave. Like it's always going to triple come back to you, quadruple, 10 times come back to you. And if you believe in that mentality, it is going to happen. But if you believe a tick for tack, a give to receive, a receive to give kind of thing, that you have to always match that person, whether it's in your relationship or your boss or a coworker or something, it's just going to be brutal. And you're always going to feel obligated to give, and not ever receive or ask for anything. And this was something that really hit home for me like, oh, I have a problem with receiving help, with receiving care, with letting go and going with the flow. I have a real control issue. I'm not going to hide it. It's true. So, the next one, number 8, is focus and commitment. Plain and simple. When you focus and you have a commitment, you're going to create consistency. And consistency is key. I heard a story, I forget from who, but it was on a podcast and they were talking about how a birthday party of kids. And you got your tough ones, you got your bullies, you got your popular kids, you got your nerds, you got that weakling, whatever the case. You got all the scenarios. And there's a pinata. And so all of the kids, they're whacking at this thing and it's not breaking open. The strongest kids go first, and then the ones in the middle, and then it comes to that scrawny, very afraid, shy kid. That's last. That kid is the one who breaks the piñata open and is seen as the freaking baddie of the party and is now being celebrated more than the birthday child. And this is not because that child was as strong as like the first ones that went or the ones that were beating the crap out of it. Like his dainty little head didn't do it. It was the build up of action, the build up of consistently whacking at this pinata that allowed it to burst open when this kid went last. And so, think about in your life when you tried something and you gave up because it wasn't working within the first day, 2 days, week, month, year. Yeah, a year. If you gave up and it still wasn't working, give it, you're trying new tactics. Like you're not just doing the same thing over and over again. That's what insanity is the definition of, like just doing something over and over and over again and it's not working, but you're still doing it anyways. I'm not saying that. I'm saying you are inputting new things to try, and you're just continuing to try and change and shift and use different strategies and learn new things and have new perspectives and receive the feedback and apply yourself to the feedback, which is what I'm actively doing at this point in my life. It's focusing on a strategy, committing to it, putting it into place, watching the results, taking an inventory, self auditing, and then trying something new if it didn't work. That is what I'm talking about. So, for an example, to give you some insight, this is all my vulnerability today. You're welcome. I haven't checked the astrology for today, but we do have the sun in Virgo. I want to check this. So, hold up for a second. And we got the moon in in Libra and Mercury in Libra. Let's go. And Saturn's in Aquarius. Yeah, we're partying today. We're talking. We're getting it all out. This is a Michael Jackson energy, by the way. And so I am doing this with my membership, the Conscious Alignment Method membership. My first time opening enrollment, I did live workouts every day for that week I was at open enrollment. And I had received my very first client, student, friend for this membership. And she is now enrolling for the second part of it because of how impactful it's been for her life. And now, for the second enrollment period, I had no one sign up. I had no one come in because I hardly gave the effort. I did not do the live workouts. I was just like messaging people and inviting them to the party, and I wasn't really giving any value online. And so that backfired. It didn't work. And so for this third opening, because I open it every quarter, every 3 months, I have been emailing like it's my day job. I'm teaching 3 classes of astrology today for your body, your mind, your soul, and how that works. And I will be doing the live workouts again. So I'm adding a new strategy with an old strategy, live workouts every day, and the emailing, consistent emailing, getting people in the door. And I had this bravery challenge all of August to help people get value directly from me to them outside of social media, so that, hey, like this is what we did together in 31 days of just emails. Imagine if we had actual one-on-one time where we could talk about what's going on in your life, deconstruct it, see it at a simple level, and then move forward. Get your body in a training period that works for your schedule, that works for your kind of tenacity level, because not everybody is a CrossFitter, not everybody is a runner, not everybody is a weightlifter. So it's finding out how you move your body and then working with your mindset and your emotions, allowing ourselves to sit in our stillness, to get quiet, to understand what those deeper parts of ourselves are that we might be repressing, that need to be expressed so that we can move forward with our energy. And the soul connection, which is using astrology as the tool to connect us with what that passion purpose is in this lifetime and what blockages we must remove in order to make action on that, which is, how I made that action happen with the modeling and acting. I'm actively applying and auditioning for movie roles and such. And, I had to get through blockages that were limitation, that were fixed mindset things instead of growth mindset. So that focus and commitment can go a long way. And so now for the third enrollment for my CAM method, like I'm not going to be defeated that I only have one student in there right now. Like this is the first year I've ever done this. I'm learning, I'm applying new strategies, and I'm committing myself. I'm not going to lose focus. I'm going to plan ahead. So there you go. And for number 9, you're not to blame for other people's problems. You're not to blame for other people's problems. Let that one simmer for a moment. You're not to blame for other people's problems. So, I have an example I could say, but I don't necessarily want to say it on here. It's just a little bit too into my personal world for me to share. And as much as I'm an open book, some things are not meant for the public. But do not allow someone else's lack of communication or expression or honesty or clarity or understanding or belief ever define or determine or affect how you live your life. There's a lot of times when we will be in situations, especially for me, get that Libra rising. I don't like conflict. I don't like when there's murky waters. I don't like when things are out of balance. I don't like when things are just tense and gross. I don't like it. And we cannot always fix that. And a lot of the times we will blame ourselves for what happened and we will overcompensate for the lack of responsibility on the other person's end because we want to make things better, because we want to solve the problems, because we want to have control of the situation. However, that's just another way to say manipulation if I'm going to be real transparent. And especially if we're trying to like have someone see us in a certain light or believe in us in a certain way or see a certain side of us, yeah, that's manipulation at its finest, like manipulating how we are perceived, which eh, it can be kind of rocky waters because when you're first going on a date with someone you really want to hook up with, you're probably not going to be yourself. And so you're manipulating the situation to favor the outcome that you want them to see. But then you get in that relationship, and months later, you're not that person. And then that person sees that. They're like, oh my God, I don't really want to be with you. And then there's a lot of wasted time and heartbreak because you were not open and transparent. So I'm going to leave that one there. But that is a really big one. Like, do not take the blame for other people's inability to XYZ, whatever that is. 10, hold your own power and vibration. This is practice, pure practice, holding your own power and vibration. This one is fun, but it's knowing when to speak up, when it's in the greater good of the world, when it's not out of hate, when it's really something you feel like you need to say. Like it is clawing, trying to come out your throat, and you're like, no, no, I can't do it. That's when you do it. That's when you do it. Don't let that fear stop you. Like, say it in do whatever you need to do in a respectful, classy manner. Do not throw hate. Do not make other people feel bad, but stand your ground and stand your power. Hold that vibration that you want to live in. If you're around people who are not on the same page, do not let them alter your emotions. So, say, like, I'm around my partner and he's not feeling what I'm feeling. I'm not going to let his attitude affect my attitude. And if it was me in a funky mood, I would really hope that he doesn't take on my attitude just because of how I'm feeling. That's not, that's a weird codependency that I'm breaking the routine of. And addressing that through communication and just saying, hey, I'm feeling this way if you're around someone, if it's with a partner, whatever the case. I'm feeling this way. Do not take it personal and do not allow this to affect you. Like, I'm working through this. Or, like, hey, could you help me work through this by just reflecting back what I'm saying or giving me your perspective? And it can really help to talk to someone about those issues if you are in a funky state. Needless to say, if someone doesn't believe in what you believe in, hold your vibration, hold your power, hold what is true for you, because what is true for you is not going to be true for everybody else. And that's such a loud message we've been hearing since 2020. Whatever stance you had and have with the masks, with vaccines, with whatever the fuck, like, that is your truth, and no one can tell you it is wrong. Yeah, whatever you believe is right is right. Think about that. Like, whatever you believe is right is going to be right, because you're not going to change your mind. And the more you try to make other people, change their minds, the more they're going to resent you trying to do that, and vice versa. So that's my note there. Number 11, be interested versus interesting. This was a new thing I heard this year, but it really applied. And once I applied it to my life and to the people, it opened a lot more depth in conversation, in relation, in wants, desires, needs. And it really helps in interviews when I do my podcast and I talk to other people. Say less and listen more. Silence and listen have the same letters. Deborah Silverman pointed that one out to me when I first started my applied astrology, which is open. If anyone wants to learn astrology with her, her school is open. I'm going to be mentoring a class by Tara Vogel in the fall. Ooh, 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 ooh. And so I highly recommend you get on that train, the fast train to that class, and put my name down as a recommendation. Anyways, yeah, the more that you show people that you are interested in them, the more they like you. Because we all want to be seen as important, as lovable, as powerful. We want to feel like people care about what we care about what we're doing in the world. Think about yourself. If someone doesn't give you the time of day, do you remember them? Probably not. However, the person that does give you the time of day, you remember how that person made you feel. You remember how that person interacted with you, unlike other people. Like, if you're at a party and there's guys who want to come and talk to you, or whatever gender, whatever the case, and they, like, one comes over and he's just like, yo, I'm the quarterback at UFC and like all this stuff. I'm so cool. You're probably not gonna really care about this dude unless you're just looking for a hookup for this person, because they're just talking about themselves. However, if a gentleman comes on over, or whatever they are, and they start asking about you and what you do for work and how, like, what's your birth time? They try to, like, they want to get to know you. That was an astrology joke, by the way. I make myself laugh more than I make other people laugh. If they're just trying to get to know you, you're more likely to be interested in that person because they are making you feel seen, heard, respected, cared about. Bada bing, bada boom. That's the key to being selected as someone who's more in alignment for, I don't know, certain positions or meeting people or getting higher in their office job, whatever it is you're trying to do. Be interested versus interesting. And then for number 12, we have systems are your friend. Wow, I learned this one. When you have systems in place, they are your friend. System of operations, SOPs, businesses, CEOs, all around have these implemented to make their lives easier. Because when you're so high up in a business and you have different levels of management and different levels of workers, you give certain SOPs to people so that you do not have to go and monitor that, because that would take, you would die. That's why people get lost in like 80-hour work weeks and shit. They lose themselves, they burn out, they stop feeling the fire. They stop feeling desire for what they created that was that in the first place, because they are draining themselves of energy by worrying, by anxiousness, by energy of like, did I do that? I can't remember, or shit, I'm late on this and I need someone to help me, or I have to explain this over and over and over and over and over again because I don't have a system that says, hey, you don't need to contact me unless this. So giving very specific processes to certain situations. And, you know, when you can implement systems when you are small, whether you're a business owner, entrepreneur, hobbyist, you work for someone and you want to make yourself be seen as like a, hey, this is me, this is what I did, I created this to make this easier. How do you like it? How can I change it to make it better for you? You are seen as a top freaking dog. So go and make a system. Make it work, make it seamless, make it really easy, tangible, aesthetic to the eye, and people are going to gobble it up like Thanksgiving dinner turkey. No pun intended. And so systems are your friend. Do not be afraid of systems. Take the time to learn them. Don't implement them until you know them inside and out, and then go for it. 13, I've touched on this. I won't go into this one too far, but meditate daily. Meditate daily. Boost your energy, boost your love for yourself, boost your confidence, boost your diaphragmatic muscles, boost your ability to be in a resting state, boost your ability to hold your energy wherever you go. There are so many benefits of meditation. I don't know of any negative benefits that I've ever heard from anyone as a yoga and meditation teacher. I haven't. If it brings up something for you, it's doing its job. It's literally allowing you access into your internal world, because that's probably something you were never taught or introduced to or told was okay. So meditation is the key to life. It really is. I have a meditation group. I was doing it Monday mornings and Wednesdays, but I think I'm done with the Monday morning ones because no one shows up. 5:30 a.m. for me, Pacific Standard Time. I'm not feeling it anymore. I tried. I tried. So that one's changing. But 4:30 p.m. PST on Wednesdays, we boogie, we meditate, we go inward. Number 14, pause versus react. This one's pretty straightforward as well. If you just react to situations, you're probably reacting from an egocentric area of your life, of your mindset, because you are not actually questioning why you are feeling the certain way that you are feeling based upon the external situation that you experienced, saw, conversated about, whatever it is. And so when you're able to communicate clearly with yourself, like, hey, well, why did him not doing the dishes bother me? Why did she like not say thank you for what I did for her? Why does that make you feel the way you do? Why does that arouse frustration or anger or annoyance or agitation? Why? Why? So pause, question what is happening in your body, what's coming up for you. That's what people mean. Question what you're feeling and answer it for yourself. And then politely say, hey, from my perspective, your like what you just did aroused this within me and it made me feel XYZ. It's not a blame game. It's not you blaming this person. It's saying, like, hey, I want you to know when you did this, I felt this. I felt this because of this past situation where I was not given blank. And so it makes me feel like I am not worthy of that same blank. And it's pretty fascinating what you discover and how deeper of a connection you can create with the person you're communicating that with and to. So pause versus react. 5 second rule. Give yourself 5 seconds. This is all practice. Literally, all these things I'm saying have been a practice of mine for a very long time, if not very intensely for the past 365 days. And some because it's well past my birthday at this point. We're out of Leo season. It's sad. All right, we're on our last 10. Stay with me. We got this. We're going in. We're flowing. All right, 15, baby. Invite people to your party. A beloved friend and colleague, because we're doing similar work, really emphasis to me. Invite people to your party. If you are not inviting people to your party, how are they ever going to show up? Think about that. Like, if you were not invited to someone's party in high school or college, whatever, didn't you feel left out? And didn't you feel resentful towards that person? Yeah. Yeah. That is what I'm saying. Just invite people to your party. If you're an entrepreneur, invite people to what you're teaching or what your membership is or what you're pursuing and ask them if they want to partake in it, if they would be interested, if it would help them, whatever the case. If you're a friend and you want to get your friends together for dinner, literally invite people to your dinner party. Connect with your people. Have a basket. It's like, hey, everybody, we're dropping our phones in here. If we want to get pics later on, we can, but let's spend like an hour or two just with each other, not on our phones. Holy schmoly. That would be enticing. That would be a party I would want to be invited to. So invite people to your party. For 16, oh gosh, this one's cute. So this stems from my partnership with my Taurus King. 16, you can do anything alone, but you can do everything together. You can do anything alone, and you can do everything together. Gives me tingles, gives me a nice, open, warm heart space. Because I have been a person that has always relied heavily on another, grew up hyper independent, and I never knew what relationships, a healthy relationship looked like growing up. And so I was really confused. I was horribly confused for a long time. And just in recent years, since 2019, really, is when I started to dive into what healthy, conscious relationship was, what it looked like. And as a Libra rising and Leo sun and moon, I needed it. I really needed to learn about this. And that's why I have such a loving partnership now that is going in a very great direction because it's not always butterflies and rainbows. It's definitely like, hey, I need to talk about this. And then tears come and then the feelings arise and all the things happen, but you make up before the end of the day. So like something that I thought about this for the first time when we were riding mountain bikes here in Nevada, and I was behind him, and it was a really tough section, but I needed to believe in myself as much as I believed in him. So if I took the belief I had for him and I put it into me, I could accomplish anything. And so You can do anything alone, because when you believe you can do anything alone, you can. You can run across the country, you can learn how to sail, you can donate whatever, like you can do whatever it is that you want to do. And when you learn that you can also do everything together, like you know that you can do everything with this person as well, or like with this other party, or with this group, or with this collaboration, with this company. Like when you have this altruistic mindset of, hey, I know I can do it alone, but I know it can be better when we do it together. Wow, that's magic. And doing it together doesn't mean that you're bypassing any emotional llama drama. You're diving headfirst into it and you're tearing it apart. You're asking these questions and you're going, oh, yeah. And that is a beautiful thing. So, however you want to apply that to your life, if you feel called to, you can do anything alone, but you can do everything together. 17. When you're frustrated, go play. When you're frustrated, go play. It's simple. When you're not in your flow, when you're pissed, when you're getting upset, stop what you're doing and go outside and move your body. Be in nature. Touch the earth with your feet. Just stop trying to be the bull running into the cement wall that is not moving, because you're not making any forward process. You're too lasered in. And when you're lasered in a non efficient way, you're wasting your time. So don't waste your time and stop shooting on yourself and cutting on yourself. Just take a step back, get perspective, shake it out, give yourself grace, hello, and walk it out. 18. Money isn't security. It's not. It's fucking not. If you are someone like me who grew up believing that money was security, I grew up hearing, we're in the red, we can't spend any money, I would get full body shivers. I would tremble in my body. I would worry. I would get way more hyper dependent than I was. And I would make sure that no one had to help me so that they could focus on getting us out of the red, whatever that meant at the time. All I thought was that we were going under, that we were going to lose everything we had. Like I got really anxious. I didn't know I could change that in a positive way. So forth and so on. Money it isn't security, baby. It's not. And it took me a really big time in Alaska. Alaska really broke this for me. Wow. Wow. It broke it. It's not a fun purge and realization to detach yourself from this understanding, this belief, this knowing. Because, like I said earlier, when you think something is right, it's right. When you believe in it, it's true. If you believe in that, wow, you are living really restricted. You are living in a really scary place. Because I was doing this. I believed that if I didn't have money, I was not safe. And so I had to do a lot of work and thank God for my partner for being who he is, my current one, because he really helped me remember, like, hey, we have a roof over our heads, and hey, we have food in the fridge, and hey, like, you're not hurt. You feel like you're not contributing, and that's not great for you. You don't feel equal in this relation, but that's all right now. Like, focus on this deeper problem that is this repressed expression that you are afraid that we are going to explode because we don't have money. And so now it's like, I've been going a long time in this weird relationship with money, and I finally feel like it is about to blow the lid off of the pot, and a whole bunch of goodness is coming my way. But wow, wow, money is not security. Make sure that you know how to get secure with yourself, that you've done inner child work, that you know how to take care of you and your heart so that you do not explode. All right, 19, we're almost done. Let your actions speak for you. No brainer. If you have to ramble your way through explaining something, why? Probably as a mechanism of protection of being seen as important as making someone understand your situation and over explaining so that they don't look down on you and see you as a waste. I stopped doing that over explaining for what I needed to do. Like if I needed to cancel an appointment, I stopped telling people why. I just said, hey, I needed to cancel and reschedule. That's it. That's it. You don't owe anyone an explanation. So when you let your actions speak for you, this is another way of saying, like, work, do, put your head down, get it done, and let it show for itself. Like you don't have to explain it because you are doing what you need to do and it is showing to the world from the outcome or from the reaction that it's getting, right? Number 20 is fail forward. So failing forward is failing, doing something that doesn't work, learning from it, taking inventory of it, and then trying something new. I kind of have this one down twice. This one is just a different way of saying, what one was it? Experiment and have fun. This is just a different way of saying that. But yeah, fail forward. Don't be afraid of what goes wrong. Be more afraid of not being comfortable to take a risk. If you're not comfortable with taking a risk, there's some disconnection with your self trust. And that is what I teach all of my students, all of my personal training clients, my conscious alignment membership babe, like self trust. I trust you to make a decision because you know what's best for you. Just like people who train their dogs and they know they live by a busy road, but they trust the dog to be outside and not run into the road. Like that is trust in your own self because you taught that dog not to run in the road, so to say. And so you're trusting your training, you're trusting what you did, you're trusting that you did a good enough job. Kind of a funny example, but that's the one that comes up for me the most. I don't know why, but that one just is easy to explain. Number 21, celebrate yourself. Isn't that funny? I put that for 21 because when you turn 21, everyone's like, yeah, get wasted, which I did not do. That's funny to think about as well. But yeah, celebrate yourself. We probably don't do this enough as a culture. We celebrate ourselves maybe on our birthdays. Maybe some people are like, oh my God, it's fine. Don't bring up my birthday. It's not important. Shut up. Your birthday is so important. You're a freaking miracle. Your life, like you are alive. You are on earth. You are in a conscious body where you get to experience the multitudes of emotions and external happenings in the world. You get to feel grass on your feet. You get to sing. You get to make love. You get to eat food. You get to feel your body. You get to do whatever it is you do. And that only lasts for however long. We do not even know. But give or take 75 to 100 years, hopefully longer soon. Y'all, I'm aiming for 124. Let's go. Let's go. I still got a whole 100 years left, 101 years left on this earth plane. And I'm here for it. Ooh, ooh, ooh. So, how can you celebrate yourself? A way that my friend Miss Aaliyah Dye introduced me to was simply celebrate 3 things about yourself every day. Maybe that is setting a timer in your phone, different days of the week, 9 a.m., 5 p.m., 8 p.m., whatever it is. And you make these a reminder so it continues to pop up so you actually do this and make it a practice because practicing makes it consistent and makes it a physiological change in your body. And so when you do that, you get to say, hey, it's 9 a.m. What have I done today that I can celebrate? I woke up, I scraped my tongue, and I drank water before coffee. Those are some fucking celebrations. Maybe it was a big day and you got a promotion and you went out to eat a fancy dinner and then you got to play with your dogs outside. That's a celebration. So, whatever it is that you want to say that feels good, celebrate yourself. Number 22, the first principle thinking. So this one was introduced to me by, what's his nuts? Tesla creator. Why don't I ever remember his name? I see his face, Elon Musk. Thank you. So this was a video I saw on YouTube and just him explaining first principle thinking, in which you think about an apple. That's the final product. How did the apple become the apple? Well, it had to grow off of this branch or out of a stem and from this branch. And then that branch was a blossom. And then that blossom and then the branch and then the trunk and then the seedling and then the roots. And like it all started, or like the roots to the seedling, it all started with one little seed. And that seed went into the ground. And so you go backwards. You go from the final product and through all the steps it took to get there. And so that's how you can accomplish anything and create anything and do anything, is by looking at the final product result that you want and then thinking backwards to the very first step. And then that's a nice little action plan that you just created for yourself, give or take some steps that might be missing or are actually irrelevant compared to what the universe has in store for you. But when you actually have a plan on what you need to go and accomplish, then you have a direction that you get to go and you get to put this into place, and it's so much fun. So that's the very short explanation of first principle thinking. Then 23, we got 3 more. 23, the sacredness of your external and internal environment creates harmony. Needless to say, if your external environment, your home, your friends, your yard, the city you live in, if it is not up to par, if it is not peaceful, if it is not a sanctuary for you, if it does not feel riveting and like it brings you life force energy, which is like makes you feel good to be in that area, needless to say, it doesn't have a good energetic, well, probably want to change that. Probably want to make it comfortable for you to live in, because when your external space is homey, sacred, and up to par with where you are, then it's going to create space for you to exist in a new and flowy way that feels good. And same thing for your internal environment. If you are open, if you have done work on your different, the chakra areas, if you've unblocked yourself, if you've talked to a therapist, if you've gone in and done inner child healing, maybe you've done plant medicine, maybe you've done some sort of thing to work through releasing different blocks in your body, you're going to create harmony. And when you're in harmony inside, you can work with the outside to create what it is that you want, needless to say. And then you get to choose that. You get to choose your reality. And then you have power that is contagious and it is beneficial for the world around you, because it's not egocentric based energy or hungry based energy or power. Excuse me. It's not hungry based power. It's power that has a pure intention behind it to do good. 24, trust the process. Ah, tingles in my body again. Trust the process. What does that mean to me? It means that even though you might be in a hard place, stuck between a wall and a rock, or in a traffic jam, whatever it is, whatever your hard place is, you know it's going to get better. You trust that what you are trying, what you are attempting to do, is going to be fruitful sooner than later. You trust that what you are putting forward is going to teach you what you need to learn and give you the results that you are seeking. And you are not banking on one way or another, or maybe, how I want to say that in a better way. It's not having a defined path the entire time, and that it's okay to not know exactly what is going to happen, but you try it anyways. You give it your all anyways. You put your skin in the game anyways, with calculated risks being a part of that. Like, you did your research, you got an understanding, you got clarity, you got confirmation in certain things, and these help you make steps towards the result that you want, or whatever process that you wish to become. And so that's what trusting the process means to me. And to finish it off, 25, you don't have to believe in astrology for it to work. And you're the one who sets the rate of your success. So those two are a little different. You don't have to believe in astrology for it to work, and you're the one who sets the rate for your success. So, regardless if you believe in astrology or not, it's not a belief system, it's a tool. It's a great tool to use if you want direction in your life, how to be kinder to yourself, just to learn about your personality, how to ride the high road versus the low road of your personality, things that you can practice and work on. Wow, isn't that the theme of this conversation? Literally, all of these are practices. Practices. And regardless if you believe in it or not, it's working. It's working for you, or it's working to help you find the right path for you, or to show you something, or to present you with a lesson, or to just give you clarification. And you're the one who sets your rate of success. You really do. The more you believe in yourself and the less you think about it, and the more that you take aligned action, and the more that you know who you are and what you want and who you're becoming, not who you are now, but who you are in the future, that is how you can move forward at a pace that feels good for you, that feels beneficial for you, that feels wholesome and rewarding for you. And so you really do get to set the rate of your success. Don't rush anything. Make sure it's bulletproof, and know that it's all up to you. It's up to you when you want to get started and how that looks in your world. And that, my friends, that's my lesson in year 25. Those are my 25 things. That is what shook me to my bones, that got me out of my comfort zone, that woke me up deeper and deeper and deeper, and got me connected to where I'm going in this lifetime. And for year 26, I'm calling in calculated risks, being a union actress, and in my first featured film, and having my membership full of 5 to 10 individuals that are starting to work with me and develop their own self-trust, awareness, love of physical movement, and working in that space. So it's going to be an exciting year. I'm eager as a beaver to continue expanding on what I'm doing, on what I'm learning, on who I'm doing it with, and I can't wait to share the journey with you moving forward. Thank you so much for listening today. It would mean the world to me if you would give me a little birthday present of subscribing to the podcast, leaving a 5-star review, preferably, and sharing this on your social media, sharing this with a beloved friend, getting the word out there. I'm growing naturally and authentically, and the more I have assistance with that, the faster it can happen. So if you feel called and aligned with this show and that would help you, make sense to you, awesome. Thank you. I will always give you a shout out for sharing the love of incredible conversations. I hope y'all have a great rest of your day. I'm sending a lot of love, and I'll see you in the next episode.